Good morning, my gardening friends. Ooh, we have been having a couple days of rain and storms. So it's soaking our soil, but I'll take it. The larkspur, oh look at the sphinx moth. I think that's what you call it. The larkspur is winding down now. I'm letting some go to seed. Then the calendula, hopefully I'll spread a little more. There's calendula in there. And some salvias. Cannas the Japanese beetles are getting. And sunflowers that need deadheading. Not real big, but I like the color. You know, we've had a lot of heat and humidity, and it's amazing we don't have powdery mildew on these Diablo 9 barks yet. But they are setting their berries. They're going to look pretty for the autumn garden. Okay, let's walk before I get rained on too much here. Mandevilla vine on the bike, and the vine on the fence is a sweet autumn, white for later on. And there'll be some white blooming in there, some wild aster. And those were the red prince Weigelias, which get a little more flower. That is sand cherry. And the potentellas peeking right over the spreading gold-tip junipers. Rosy glow 9 bark, a little shorter than the Diablo. And Russian sage. And as soon as that starts looking dried up and ratty, then I'll cut it down, and I have the catmint behind it, which will be blooming for the second time. So I should still have color there. That's catmint in there. And then some late growing Mexican sunflower, which is orange. Not yet. And then the sunflowers. I will be cutting back the corabels, and then the feature plant in front here will be the marigolds and some of the autumn joyceums. Why do I cut back the corabels? They start looking burned because these are in full sun. So I'll show you on some other ones. I'll cut them back to new growth, and they'll look a little more tidy. He trimmed all the, spirea, gold flame. He likes them compact, and I like them airy and wild. Opposites attract. Okay, let's see what I mean by these corabels. Okay, so this foliage is starting to look a little ratty, and these are starting to dry up, the flowers. So then I will go and take off these old leaves. And can you see the new ones starting in here? So I only have about 60 of them here to do. So we'll see if I get to it. Now in spring, I told you that I took some of the Persicaria Lance Corporal and put it into these pots as a filler. It's filling nicely. It does not have a chartreuse leaf anymore. More light, it got greener. But it still has that burgundy inside the leaf. So it looks nice, I think, with the coralline, the spiky plant. Which, if you have these, you can bring them in and grow them as a house plant. And they'll get like a Dracaena would. And our PG hydrangea tree, which we had to do some severe pruning and staking, or tying, because it was weeping so. And then the common 9-bark, which takes a lot of shade. They do get white flowers, but you have to not prune now like he did. Now I'll get no flowers next year because he cut off the new growth. They get flowers on new growth. And then the blue carpet spreading juniper. Pretty. But the mice like it. And voles, I think. New planting of Annabelle hydrangea because I want a screen of that yard over there. My neighbors. So he's limbing up this dying blue spruce. And as you have seen in my other videos where I usually start on the other side, the east side of the garden, they really fill in fast. So these will be a good screen, at least a 5-foot screen, and that's good. I put peony rings around them, or tomato cages, so the branches don't break off from the weight of the blooms and the weight of the snow in the winter. I will keep these on for a couple years. Now entering the veggie garden, I have Hopi amaranth and my little succulents in my tricycle. And yes, I eat that purslane. That's the ground cover there. That one. Whoops, sorry. That one. And then the flapjack succulent. All off the mom plant that's on the deck. And I just give that away then at the end of the year. Now I have green beans, pole beans, growing up the trellis this year instead of the scarlet runner bean. Yes, I like the scarlet runner bean red flower, but I like the bean of Kentucky Wonder or Vortex. So we're doing a little beans there, and Japanese beetles have gotten them a little. I put another cucumber in because I'll be showing you. These I planted from seed, Market More, and they're doing okay. They're going to give me cucumbers for a while. And yes, I see cucumber beetles periodically, and I do try to squish them or drop them into a dish. Lots of dill I'll be pulling out. Not enough time in the day for me. Raspberries are finally starting to set a little flower. Not a good year. Have some good years and some bad years. Okay, this is my ratty looking cucumber. I've been taking off the lower leaves, and we'll just let it flower and produce some cukes until it won't anymore. And then pull it out. But I have another. I have that planting I just showed you, and then I have one other that I started. Green beans are also trellising on this makeshift trellis using saplings and twigs. Malabar spinach. Now this one here never produced nice leaves, but it is producing flowers. So I wonder if there's a male and a female. Don't know, but I'm going to get seed off of this possibly, because I've never had it go to seed flower so early. And then consequently I never got seed. I left a little borage in, pulled most of it out. Calendula, my carrots, some basil in there that wasn't getting enough light. Maybe it will now that I took the lower leaves off the cucumber. Pretty cardinal singing. Okay, tomatoes have done fantastic this year. Just starting to get red ones. Celebrity, let's see, what else? Big Beef, Brandywine, and Juliet are up here. Now, this is makeshift. Cover it up so the chipmunks don't get it. And we just saw a woodchuck this afternoon in our backyard grass. So we'll see if I have trouble with them. I'm going to set a live trap today. But anyways, I'm using some of my onion bags. I had luckily saved a few. Wish I would have saved more. And I have been taking off the lower leaves of these tomatoes too. They're starting to get fungus. Now, chipmunks did eat a couple of my tomatoes down there, and I'm leaving them. And they have been eating off of those instead of going up the plant and eating my green tomatoes. Maybe they don't eat them when they're green. Have some green beans over here, but not very good. Way too much shade. So here's my other cucumber that I'm growing on this side. So it'll be interesting how it does because it doesn't get much sun. This is the Juliet. Cross between, I'd say, a cherry and a Roma or a paste. And I like making sun-dried tomatoes out of them. Peppers, lots of flowers are starting, and few peppers, but we need time. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of time. Hopefully, we have a late freeze. This Malabar spinach is doing awesome. Isn't that vine pretty? Red. You eat it like you do spinach or cook it like you do spinach. And it's aggressive once the heat kicks in. Okay, that's my 10-foot greenhouse frame. But I use them for my bacon, lettuce, and tomato also. Nice size leaf. Look at that Juliet. So it's about at 6 foot now. No, more than that, 7 foot. It's going over on his pine trees, using it as a trellis. It's laying on the pine branches. Verbena. Buenos Aires. I happen to like the purple with the orange. And a variety of peppers. Poblano, Italian roasters, and then quite a few bell peppers, red, yellow, and green. One green, only one. And I forgot to plant green, and I had to get a plant from my local grocery store. My organic grocery store had them. Tomatoes are setting nicely. all the way up. We're going to about 8 feet now. And I will keep a ladder on the other side of the garden there, and that's how I'll pick, or Dave will have to pick. There are new seedlings of kohlrabi and beets. And I planted way too many, but I was frustrated and I just threw the seed down. So if they come, they come, and they don't, they don't. I do have beets in among the peppers all the way along. Spearmint, not ready to pick yet, unless we have a mojito. I just come out here and pick it. I'm waiting for it to just flower, start to flower. I had one picking of my holy basil drying downstairs, and the other probably will be in about 2 weeks, I'd say. Celery, how's that doing? Only because I have the seed. I'm getting some stalks. We'll see. Basil, not so good in the holes of the cinder blocks. Dries out, heats up too much, I think. This is a different variety of the holy basil. There's like 3 of them. Oh, what are Krishna? I think that's this one. Dark purple flower. And then Rama. And that's my pink one. And I don't know the other one. Greens are doing okay in there. But that insect barrier that I am covering up the brassicas with really doesn't leave a lot of rain in. And they said it does. Well, it doesn't. So I had to open it up and water in there. My tomatoes, just because I had the room. Jewelweed. Comfrey. Just made a poultice last night and this morning using cheesecloth, putting it after I mush it up in the blender. Then I put it on cheesecloth and then apply it to my ankle. And 2 days of application, and I keep it on, the poultice on, for a few hours. And my ankle, I'm not limping. Great blue lobelia is a bee attractor. It's native, and the bees love it. Last of the daylilies over here. A few varieties. What's blooming new this week? Well, there is a sunflower back there, or no. Maybe a heliopsis of some type, a double. That's starting. It's tall and goes crazy. Starting to rain, but I'm still okay. Doesn't that purple blue look pretty in mass coming up here and there and everywhere? Here's a white one. Not too many. Years ago I would pull out the white. Now I'm just letting them go. Oh, we'll be deadheading this week, I think. All these Gloriosa daisies. And they'll continue until fall. They'll even take a light frost, so if I deadhead, I'll get color longer. My spidery daylily. Some of you commented on my scan here of the garden. It's pretty. It is pretty. It's wild and crazy, but it gives me color, and that's what I'm after. So let's see what we have. Okay, there's my anemone that has started. It's a very light pink, and it can be aggressive. Can't remember the variety it's called. Very common though, whatever it is, it's very common. Joe Pye with tiger lilies. Phlox coming up here and there and everywhere, and goldenrod. I will be taking that goldenrod out of there in most places after I see that it's mostly bloomed. Right now it's adding color, like right back behind this phlox here. There is nothing blooming right now, so the goldenrod looks pretty. When I get in there, the dead head, I'll be pulling out those allium seed heads also, because they're starting to look ratty. And deadheading the tiger lily. I'll really deadhead. I'll cut that back by half at least. So I was saying I was using a comfrey poultice on my ankle. And when I fractured my wrist, I used it on that too. And that wrist now is really strong, really strong. I do a lot of yoga and power yoga. And it can hold my weight. And balancing, and it's doing good. It's overcast, very overcast. Maybe you can even hear it raining. Now see how this goldenrod is blooming all by itself. It just put itself there. And it's with the pink phlox. Looks pretty. And the coneflower. Just make sure you pull it out before it goes to seed. A few more daylilies left. Little different goldenrod. It's not as waterfallish as the other one. This one's a little more upright. And then there's one that's even more upright. The branched coneflower started. Yes, the bee balm's still blooming. And that's not even down the stalk. If we deadhead it, it might bloom longer even, because it doesn't look like it's getting powdery mildew. you see down below the flower, you see the new growth coming in by the leaf joint there? That possibly could have more flowers. Perennials are great. It's the way to go. There's that weed I told you about. We'll see. I think it has kind of a pinkish white flower. Very insignificant. So we'll see if I pull it out. I will pull it out, but maybe I'll let it bloom first. Let's walk down below for a while. More branched coneflower. This side I don't take you on too often. Oh, it smells good over here. I think it's a perilla. This is my stand of nettles. My morning walk for my breakfast, usually every other day. There's my kitchen, and here's my garden. Trumpet vine tree. Backlit. Usually in August, the ferns start drying up. They're not doing bad this year. Still looking kind of pretty. Now let's see if the Simicifuga Hillside Black Beauty is blooming. That's a late summer one. Oh, not yet. Here's the leaf. Okay. Here's the flower starting. So it's not blooming yet. See one lone, the rocket down there. Then it's all done. I'm surprised Persicaria hasn't set flower yet, but it's got to be getting close to it. I think it is, right there. I think that is going to be the flower. And since I have a lot of them, now it'll look a little prettier. Otherwise, the flower is so tiny, it's kind of insignificant. Now, the phlox in the wild area. Take care, my friends. Happy to have you join me again.